Welcome to NC Spin Perspectives, thoughts from North Carolina opinion leaders. Talking with Dr. George Griffin, former teacher, principal, and program director for DPI. Thank you, George, for being with us. In your op-ed piece, you said that we've tried lots of reforms, but they all end up sort of just tweaking the system. Are you telling us that Common Core and testing and accountability and tenure and teacher pay, all of these are just tweaks and won't have any significant effect on student success?
I believe so. These are touchy areas for people, and I respect that. But we do need a unified curriculum, kindergarten through 12th grade, and Common Core brought a unified K-12 set of standards aimed at helping children develop their critical thinking skills. It's not the end of the universe, but it was a good attempt. It is a good attempt at pulling the standards together so that the student has the same practice opportunities grades K through 12. And we all know practice makes perfect. But, you know, that's not going to change anything if we don't fix some of the other parts of the system as well.
One of the things that was fascinating to me is that you used an analogy that our education system was sort of like an industrial era factory that grades, sorts, and processes students until we finally either kick them out or graduate them. Explain that.
Well, that is not original with me, first of all. Any educator that's been around will tell you we've been thinking that way for 20, 30 years now. But if you look even at our buildings, they're set up that way. They're long. You go into a typical elementary school and kindergarten and first grade are at the end of this hallway, and second and third and fourth and fifth. They actually physically look like an assembly line, not only psychologically and practically. And we've been good at this. Grading and sorting is what we call it for a long time. And that's what we still do largely, even though people are trying to get away from that.
And what you're saying is that this industrial era factory model isn't acceptable. It's not working.
It's not working for a significant number of students. There's just no question about that. When you see dropout rates between 10 and 25% in school districts, you know it's not working for those kids. But I'm not blaming anybody for that, but there's your evidence. Go interview your typical high school student in a typical public school, and they'll tell you how kind of bored they are and how much they can kind of drift. Now, we could also pick out some students who are doing very well in the schools. So it's not like everything's all bad, but we're not going to get much better if we just fix a little here and a little there. Tweaking. We're just not going to.
Thank you, George Griffin, for being on NC Spin Perspective.
Thank you, Tom.